Hey, what's going on guys? It's Kyle here, and today I'm going to tell you a little story about an 8-unit apartment building slash motel that I bought back in 2018. And I want to tell you the story of how I found it. I'm a residential broker and an investor. So the story goes, I was mailing these owners asking them if they would sell me some of their apartments in the town that I lived in. Well, they actually got back to me and said, hey, we want to list our whole entire portfolio. So I probably listed 20 or 30 units for them and was starting to make some commission off of those. And there was this one building in particular that I had mailed them originally about. Well, one of my buddies actually ended up purchasing that building from them, so I made a commission on it. I decided they were asking too much for it, but they're like, hey, we've got this 8-unit motel slash apartment building in a town near you. Why don't you go take a look at it? So I went and looked at it, and wow, this thing was an absolute dump. I'll show you some photos and you'll be shocked. I don't know what I was thinking, but I had some cash sitting on the side, and you know, as an investor, it's hard to see money just sitting on the side sometimes. But so anyways, I offered them some money. I offered them 10 grand for it, and they took it. So you're gonna think that's insanely low price, but let's take a look at it. All right guys, so here we are. We are at the good old motel. Now this place was rough, like I said, that's why I only paid 10 grand for it. So as you can see, it's block construction. It did have a shingled roof that the whole thing needed replaced. Most of the windows in the building had already been replaced, which was good. I had some front doors that I needed to fix, and you know, the front needed painted. But let's take a look at a few more of these photos. So as you can see, it did kind of like I don't know, a V shape right here. So this is the corner. This unit was actually where the owner of the place used to live. It was substantially bigger than the rest of the units. So he would live here, and then he would maintain the units and rent them out. So it was a motel at one time, and the owners that I purchased it from actually purchased it as a apartment building from some other guy. So this place, yeah, needed a lot of work. You know, the roof was going to need to be ripped off, all new guttering, fascia and soffit. Here's the back side. So one of the disadvantages of this property was it's master metered because it was a motel at one point. So, you know, when you go to a motel, you're not paying utilities or hotel. The hotel would have that, and then they would just build it into their price. But as a apartment owner, I want, if I can, to bill the tenants directly, or I want them to have their own meter for the utilities so that the utilities aren't coming to me. Because a lot of times when you pay your utilities, you manage them better, you don't use as much water or as much gas. But when the owner pays, then a lot of times tenants will abuse it. So here's just a few more photos of the outside. Again, 1 meter. This is the electric meter. This is probably gonna have to be upgraded. I mean, this wire is fraying. The black coating on the outside was gone. So here's one of the units, and these units were no joke, like 200, yeah, I would say not much more than 200 square foot. So you walk in, you've literally got your living room, bedroom, and kitchen all in one room, and then the toilet. So extremely small. So all of them had these kind of tall showers at the one time they had built up. So I really went into this thinking it was going to be pretty much a gut rehab. And you know, if I would have kept it, I think I would have I really would have made money. I never fully got a good bid on what it was going to cost me to fix the whole thing, but I'm going to guess at least 50, 60, 70 grand. The nice thing is all the units are so small, and these walls are block, so I wouldn't have to rip out drywall. I wouldn't have to do much, you know, structurally. It was mainly just new flooring, new paint. I would have put in new kitchens, but the thing is, everything's so small, it would be relatively cheap. So that 50 or 60 grand I just threw out there was a complete guess. So yeah, this is the bigger unit, and not really a whole lot to see, but there was some mold in there. And here's another big expense, was updating the electrical panels. And there's actually only just one for the whole property, which I don't like that, because then one tenant has control. So that's that. I don't think there's any really other cool photos to show you the inside, but here's a shot of the roof. And So I actually sold this property then. I thought I was gonna hang on to it, but decided to sell it. And I actually sold it to the neighbor who was a dentist, and he wanted it just to be able to control the property and make sure there weren't any, crazy people living next door to him. Okay guys, so now we are on the settlement statement, and just want to show you here I paid $10,000 for it. So if you don't know how a settlement statement works, it's just a line down the middle, and then you have the borrower on one side and the seller on the other side. So in my case, I'm the borrower. I paid 10 grand for it. I paid cash for it, and I actually came to the table with $8,714.82 after some of the prorated taxes. So paid 10 grand for it. I held it for, I bought it in July of 17, and let's see, I sold it. Looks like I don't have the date on there, but I think it was around, you know what, I'm not even gonna guess. It was a little under 2 years, I think. So I held it for a while. So I did have a little bit of insurance costs, and I paid someone to do a little bit of work, maybe a few $100s. I sold it for 16 grand. So I made a little bit of money after some of the charges here, and then the commission. So I actually, again, I'm a broker, or I'm a residential realtor / broker. And so I actually made a little commission on this property as well. So you could add I got a cut of this. I got 70% of this number, which is $1,050, I think. So add that $1,050 to that $13,119, and that's what I made from it. So again, it wasn't a fail, but not something I'd buy again. It just needed too much work, and it was not in the greatest area. It wasn't an area where I wanted to be. So it was 45 minutes away from my market. So I was just like, you know what, this probably isn't worth it for me to mess with this. And it's gonna be hard to manage, especially with units this small, because they're units that small, people aren't gonna wanna stay very long. So you're gonna have a lot of turnover. So anyways, that's the story with the 8-unit apartment / motel building. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you in the next one.